Good evening, Daf Pe Aleph Amud Aleph. We are still in the explanation of what the prerequisites of Bnei Israel have to do to accept upon themselves in order to inherit Eretz Israel. We are in the third one, approximately halfway down. Asavim. You can gather grass for your animal except where there's fenugreek, because grass is good for fenugreek. Does that mean that grass is good for fenugreek? So in the case of fenugreek that grew with grass, and we do not make the farmer take it out in the case of kilayim, which shows that the reason why is because the guy will take it out himself because it's detrimental to the fenugreek. That's why you don't have to force him to take it out because of kilayim. When it says in the case of the Mishnah where it's growing for the seed, but in the case of Abraita is referring to the stalks, which will be eaten. Lezera, if it's grown for seed, that's bad for the fenugreek. Because it weakens it. Lezirim, but it's just for the stalks, that's good for the grass. Ma'alila. Because when the fenugreek is standing among the grass, mirakva, you can rest on it. It'll support it. Even a different answer. In the case of the Mishnah, referring to when fenugreek is being grown for a man. In the case of the Barta is bad. Is asur. It's for animals. They came in the Mahuzar since the guy is planting it for animals. Therefore, he also wants to have the grass, and therefore you cannot feed it to your animal. Munay didn't have for what purpose the guy grew his field for. How do we know? You just see the fenugreek and grass. How do you know if it's for a person or for an animal? If it's arranged neatly in a nice garden bed, you know if it's for a person. If it's not neatly arranged, the it's for an animal. Next, number 4, because you can cut off the shoot of an olive tree at any point as long as grofiot shel zayit, as long as it's 2 fistful height above the stump of the olive tree, so that it could regenerate. The rabbi said in the name of a certain chacham. We'll talk about him soon. Beside for an olive tree, regular olive tree, you have to leave an egg-sized portion. Bekanim, regarding to reeds and vines, pikak ulmala, as long as you get from the lowest knot and above. Ushaklu, not all of the trees. Ubo shel ilan, from the you could take from the trees fruits, meaning the thin branches that stuff grows from. Vilomin hudosh, from the hard central foundational branches. You can also take from the new branches that did not yet grow fruit, but not from the old ones that already produce fruit. You could cut off the branches that are not see the sun. The sun does not shine on it. But not from a place where the sun touches. As we know, the sun touches something, it grows fruits. Okay. Next part, number 5. People can use a new spring that came from another property they can use for water. But you have to pay the money to the owner. According to the Gemara, we do not possess that you don't have to reimburse the owner. All Jews can use a fish with a hook in the Tiberia River, ocean, even though it's the portion of Naphtali. As long as you don't spread out an enclosure to stop, and that will stop boats from traveling easily. You could use nets to trap fish. In the beginning, the Shivatim made a condition that they agreed to. That even not even Naphtali can, all Shivatim, and definitely not, and even Naphtali can spread out stuff in the area of the Yama of the Tiberia that can stop boats. You could use nets. Okay. The Sea of Tiberia was located in Naphtali. But also, the Naphtali was able to take a small portion of land in the south of the ocean, of the sea, in order to use to catch the fish. They could pull in its nets for the traps. The Kamesh Namar, to fulfill what Moshe said to Naphtali, Yam Vidarom Yerasha, go and capture the sea and its south. Tanya. Old trees detached from the soil that were found on Eretz Israel when they divided it. بحسكات كوش من it stands in possession of all shvatim. They can split it. يعني إني بكتير. مخبرين بحسكات الطوب بالشvet. And the trees that are still attached to the ground belong to the shevet that is inheriting the land. يعني that land. فإن لخا كل shevet Israel, not every single shevet. شإن lo bahar وبشفت له بنغب وبعمق. They each have a portion in the mountains, valleys, open land, and valleys. Other type of valleys. שנאמר בפסוק זה, פנו וסעו לכם בו להר האמורי ואל כל שכנה, בערבה, בהר ובשפלה ובנגב ובחוף הים. וכן אתם מוצאים בכנענים ופרזים ובאמורים ושלבניהם. And also we see the same thing regarding the כנענים, פרזים and אמוראים before, שנאמר בפסוק זה, ואל כל שכניו and all its neighbors, alma שכניו הביאו. Therefore we see the same way the neighbors all had these lands and stuff, so too Bnei Israel, all the Shvatim have all different types of lands and mountains, etc. Next condition. You can use the stone from a wall if someone has to relieve himself by someone's property. You can use it even if the wall is blocking the saffron field. The only thing you're only allowed to take a stone is to clean yourself after relieving yourself. You're not allowed to take the stone on Shabbat. Marzutra Hasida Shakil Mahadir. Marzutra used to use it and put it back on the wall. Amar Leila Shammai Zila Shriken. He would tell his attendant after Shabbat, cement it back in place. Next one is that you used to allowed to walk around the path in case if the path was unusable until the second season, the rain season, because the paths become usable, you're able to walk around the paths onto people's fields. Mara Papa, Bahadidan, in regarding to our soil in Bavel, I feel Talka Shelha, even when the dew lands on it, not even rain, it can cause the paths to get destroyed. And when the paths become like pegs, the middle of the path becomes hard because of all the stuff that's landing on the ground, the precipitation, you can walk on the sides of the road on people's property. Shmuel and Rabbi Yehuda were walking in the path in Bavel. They were walking and Shmuel turned off the road and started walking off road. The Tanai that Yeshua allowed you to go off road is only for Eretz Israel, not Bavel. He answered him, I actually say that it not only works in Eretz Israel, but also Chutz La'aretz as well. Rabbi and Rabbi Yechia were walking down the road. They also had to turn off the road. Rabbi Yehuda ben Kenusa was running along ahead of them. When he noticed, he said, who's this guy showing off what a big tzaddik in front of us, that he's staying on the road even though it's not easy to stand on? Rabbi Yahya said to him, Shema Rabbi Yehuda ben Kenusa Tamidihu. Maybe it's Rabbi Yehuda ben Kenusa, he was correct, which is my Tamid. But he's always Shem Shemaim, meaning he's not doing it because he's ga'ava, oh look what a big tzaddik I am. When they got close to him, they saw him, and it was him. The rabbi said to him, if it was not for you, if you weren't for a big tzaddik, would break your leg with an iron club. For some reason, it's a euphemism saying that he would exile him. Next condition. Someone who's lost in the vineyards may cut his way through to the exits. Someone sees someone else lost in the vineyards trying to find his way out. He can cut his way through to get him. So you can lead him out to the city or the road. Also, someone who's lost himself. He also can cut through until he exits. What do you mean additionally? You might think in the case where someone else is lost, the other is like because the rescuer knows how to get him out, and therefore he could minimize the damage because direct cut to that guy and bring him out. Then if so, maybe that's what will be allowed. About who? Maybe by the guy himself, where he doesn't know where he's going. You should not be able to cut because you might cut too much. Maybe you should walk your way back, try to find your way out the way you got in. You're allowed to get yourself out. In regarding to cutting yourself out is also the Hilchot Doraita. The Tanya, I didn't know they have a mitzvah to return a body, a person who's lost. You shall return him. So if that's the Torah says, you're allowed to return a person, Doraita, why don't need Yeshua to give me this beautiful chidush? Not a chidush. When it says Doraita hu de ka'eb misri, it's true. director says that the guy should maybe go back and not have to cut through. Atahu Tekin, there Yeshua came and allowed it, the Mafsig already had to cut through. Last one, Met Mitzvah Kanama Kamal Met died in the road, you can acquire for its location immediately, and it acquires its location, and no matter who owns that property, the met has to be buried there. Someone who finds a corpse lying in the road. Right? So we're going to see that basically he does not acquire the actual spot, but rather he gets moved around. So you either put him on the left side of the road, the right side of the road, and bury him there. So that borders then if the sides of the road is a empty field and a plowed field, if you notice the border, you should move it to the empty field. So then near was the zera, if you have a plowed field and a planted field, if you notice the near, you put it in the plowed field. And you stand if they're both the same, you can choose which area. Regardless, we see that you're able to move the body and he doesn't acquire the actual location. Still against that condition of Rabbi Yeshua. When I said in that case, the reason why you are able to move him is because he was lying across a narrow main path, and therefore since you're allowed to move him in the first place to get him out of the main path, so people don't walk over the kever. You're able to move it any way you want, right? For example, someone picks up muktzeh by accident, or he has a reason to pick up muktzeh, he doesn't have to drop it immediately. He can put it down wherever he wants. Okay. Amri Asarab. Now, we had this before, but you said that Yeshua said 10. Hani had we had 11. Gemara says not a problem. Really, Shlomo HaMelech added the condition of that they may walk around the paths during the rain seasons. The time of the Berta says, there someone's fields have emptied. He harvested his fields. He doesn't allow people to walk through. What can people tell him? They don't. If his field's empty and he doesn't let people use his field as a shortcut, what can people tell him? What benefit does this guy have by not letting us go through? What are we damaging him? Allah Pasuk says, you shall be good, don't be called bad. Sounds like a beautiful pasuk. The problem is, that pasuk does not exist. Rather, it does, but not like that. It says the following: basically saying, if you have an option of doing good without bad happening to you, don't choose to be bad on purpose. Like similar to like midat sedom. Don't be you gain and the other guy doesn't lose. You should let the guy do it because they have no reason not to. Okay. The tuleka, the no more conditions, the only 10. We had this around 2.5 months ago. Person who's taking out his garbage can take it out, he can leave it piled up for 30 days. Most people can step on it. We mentioned that case over there by Bor, that if someone trips on it, you're still chayav even though you have permission to put it there. Because in that condition, Yeshua gave it out. So we see another one. Why only 10? Then we have more. Right? So one, now we have 3 more. Rabbi Yishmael. Tanya. Rabbi Yishmael ben Rabbi ben Barak Omer. Tonight, Bedin who? Tonight, a beekeeper can go to his friend's field and cut off a piece of the friend's tree to save his swarm of bees that went into that field. He has to pay that piece that he cut off to his field. And also another tonight. If someone's walking with a barrel of wine, he can pour out his wine to save the barrel of his friend's honey. He can take the amount of the wine that spilled from the honey that he saved. Meaning you might think he gets paid in full for all the honey that you saved. No, you get paid for what you lost or what you sacrificed. Another condition similar, if someone's unloading his wood, a person should unload his wood to save his friend's flax. And you take the compensation for your wood that you unloaded for your friend's flax. Because this is a condition of Yeshua. All 3 cases are basically saying that if you have a situation where you are a friend is losing money because of you, or vice versa, don't take advantage and charge him extra. Don't charge him extra for his bees. Don't charge him extra because you saved his honey. Don't charge him extra because you saved his flax. Rather, take your loss and that's it. get paid for your expense. So how come we have 4 new cases and we didn't add them? The Gemara answers no, because these are single opinions. We don't mention single opinions. We have another one. Regarding a tree whose branches extend into someone else's field. Also additionally regarding to a tree that is nearby within 16 amot of another person's property, which is basically gathering nutrients from the roots underneath, which according to one opinion, I believe it's Ula and Baba Batra, says that that's considered like stealing nutrients from another person. You should be patur from bikurim. This opinion holds. Maybe you do bring a child. We're not worried about it. So we see another tonight. Rather, who said 10? Maybe Shoban Levi, who, and we know this how if you me be katil matnila he said it straight up. Rabbi Yatan home the Rabbi Periyaz and Reb Mishum Bizakin Echad, do man Rabbi Shoban Levi, who's the Mishum Levi, Asratana in Hatana Yeshua, he said 10. Okay, Asratana connected to Ezra 10 things Ezra said that Bnei Israel have to do when they get exiled. Shekorim Mincha Shabbat, you read the Torah on Mincha on Shabbat. Bekurim b'shnei hamishi, you read Torah Monday, Thursday. V'danin b'shnei hamishi, and Bedin gathers on Monday and Thursday. Mechapsin v'chamishi b'Shabbat, and people do laundry on Thursday. V'ochlin shum berev Shabbat, you should eat garlic on Friday. V'shtei isha mashkemet v'ofa, a woman shall rise early in the morning to bake. V'shtei isha chogeret b'sinar, a woman should wear a certain type of undergarment. V'shtei isha chochavet v'tavel, the woman shall comb her hair and then go into the mikveh. V'shihu rochlinu machzirim b'ayrot, and peddlers of perfumes should walk around in cities and towns to make it available to women, and people can't complain. And also Ezra also made that people who have Baal Keri have to go into the mikveh. Now we're going to go each one at a time to explain what was the purpose of each one. For the people who own shops, who have to be in the shops all year round, all week round, and they couldn't make it to shul. They heard the Torah on Monday or Thursday. Therefore, we were able to should go on Shabbat afternoon.